we're going to give our agent the ability to use a third-party rewriting service. And if you don't know, StealthGPT is, it's a service that offers these models and basically rewriting approaches, algorithmic, and however they do it. It's a pretty insane suite. And they just focus on what comes out reading a little too sterile, maybe reading a little too straightforward token-based LLM, and Stealth spins it, as we'll see when we're working with the agent. We're going to be writing, so you have the agent, then the natural original LLM, the drafts, and then stuff you really want to publish, go to social with. If you're posting something to LinkedIn, 2,000 characters, it's got to be read like you, all that stuff that now companies are doing, brand voice. And so we are going to be able to use this third-party service to deliver an extra layer of transformation, I call it, right? Because you're taking a text, taking a body of work now, and then giving it to a service, or just doing it internally, or doing some sort of even using another LLM. But I have found that you do want to do honestly, I know ChatGPT now and Claude can really deliver solid results, but I still find myself often editing. So as we're building this from like a pretty advanced perspective, we are able to, have tools at our disposal. So I will say this, and then we'll connect another. So what these are is essentially it's part of our tool library. So if you're developing, you can get a different level of account to StealthGPT, and they have a credit system and an online dashboard and all sorts of stuff. So they really help us get sometimes just make fully publishable drafts out of stuff that was like, okay, that's pretty good, but is it something I would just click go on, especially when it matters? So we're here trying to mitigate that, and I found StealthGPT to be just about the best, one of the best. Honestly, I haven't reviewed too many others for some reason. It's been so effective for me. Just made sense. And so there's an API basically, and these custom tools are connected via API calls and again, the info for making one of those is in my video, so just check the channel. But here we're just expanding on that. Okay, so we have StealthGPT connected, and let's take a look what else we want from our custom tool setup. So you know what, I think that's actually it. I have a few extra, but for now. Okay, so now why don't we connect up the memory? So if you're an advanced user and understand it, if not, actually I guess anybody, the way that really index-based and memory stuff works is that it's very simple in a way, but then also very complex. It has to have obviously the properly processed data, and that is sanitized and optimized and just right. So if you dump in a bunch of stuff with complex images and graphs, that actually has to be understood first, right? That the whole system has to. So anything we send into the index and vectorize, we have to embed and chunk and do all the processing on. We have to do that right. What is memory then used for? Memory, for example, as a product that I'm building around it, we have the concept of banks. So you're able to use a different bank for different purposes, right? So when you create a new one, you can co-locate or dislocate, and eventually it will all lead to a unified memory layer, I think. But I don't think we're there yet. I honestly don't think anybody is. We're definitely trying just our best to do high quality RAG, But memory banks, as long as an agent has access into sort of the right pre-processed amount of information, preferably managed by a document store, which again, Flowise allows us to do really well. And then we have a committed status of what's actually in the memory. Then it's all about just being able to query that. So the way that we accomplish that in tool agents is we use the retriever tool. So I'll move this. Let's zoom out a little bit. So as you can see, our canvas is starting to grow. So we'll run our Composio personal agentic toolkit there. And I think let's start with that. So for the retriever tool, we'll have Pinecone. So yeah, as you see, very easy. Again, if this is so super basic, feel free to ignore, but you just want to be able to search for what you need, right? Especially when you're building like this and you get to know whatever tool you're using as library. Every single one will have, even NA10 there, just the toolbar pops up on the right, and we have a whole like same thing though. What do we have? What do we know? How? So retriever tool is going into tools connection. We have a document loader that we need. So quick tip for document loader, it's an immense topic. I do already have started in production some basically implementing the entirety of Flowise's document store API. So it's go all-in-one RAG solution with connection to whatever memory you want. It's insane. So it's essentially all that powers the memory module at the Tesseract. So we're able to then take any kind of file in, and there I just use unstructured to handle the process. But that's, of course, I've just recently found out about a few more companies. Seems like the concept is catching on that we need a proper like acceptance layer, right? Or evaluation and acceptance. If something's gonna get committed to memory or be considered part of a RAG pipeline, then it has to be accounted for, right? It's not just this meaningless, what am I sending to my vector stores? What am I pushing into this? How do I split it? It just really all depends, right? If chat history is an obvious one and really getting that perfect, I think most already have a pretty high quality standard of it, but it's still really hard to just have that unlimited flawless context. Our Pinecone, we will just use what works now perfectly, and I would strongly suggest that you use it, is the generic file loader. Just great, basically gets the stuff done. So if you're not using a specialized service, by the way, again, what do you want to need that for? Using these stock experiences is totally fine, and embeddings are still done and things are processed. But what's something like unstructured or gosh, I can't even remember the names of the other ones. What they do is they have OCR. They have different types of like what comprehending, extracting, sanitizing. It's the difference between, they have modes. Like I can explain. It's the difference between thing and the modes. In fast mode, it's meant for, it employs a certain stack in fast mode, just it's optimized for large, long, huge, or small text documents. Because when we observe, if you're always wondering or thinking like, why should I use just an uploader and when I always need unstructured? Truth be told, considering just how many different things people can be working with and provide, it's really good to use an intermediary service. Just like Composio does the auth for our agents, it's really good to be able to say like unstructured, or not say, or in my case, yeah, it's unstructured, it's handling